Thanks for coming to hang out. I'm sure it's been crazy for you guys. It's been crazy for me. Thanks to all the essential workers keeping everything going, the world going. We appreciate you very much. But yeah, I know a bunch of us have been facing a lot of uncertainty, trying to figure out how to be at home, be productive, take a break, understand ourselves. Who are we without work? It's crazy. And I know I've been spending a lot of time on the phone with my business manager, Brad Akin, because this CARES Act, if you are outside of the US, thank you for listening to this part. But we're going to have Brad, my business manager, jump on, tell us what we know about some of the things that are being done to help people in the US, because a lot of us are running small businesses or unemployed, recently unemployed, and we're trying to figure this out. So I'm going to have Brad jump on, help us answer some questions. Then I'm going to play you a song, tell you a little story behind the song, play you a song, and then tell you what we're going to do in the next episode. So, always struggling. I feel you. I know. Okay, so let's get Brad on here. And I'm pretty sure I know how to do this. Oh, someone said they just found out Millport's canceled. No. Yay, Brad!
We did it. I'm new at this too. I usually just spend my day looking at Excel files.
We appreciate
and here we are.
You do that.
You bet. How are you doing?
Yay! I'm okay today. My sister and I started a 1 through 10. How you feeling? And today I feel like a 7.
That's pretty good.
Yeah. Yesterday was like a 3, so it's a big improvement from yesterday.
Wait, didn't you and I talk on the phone yesterday? Is it my fault?
No. We talk on the phone most days, and it's up and down regardless. Okay,
that's right.
So you are a business manager, which means you have to handle numbers for people and understand what is going on. And I know you guys are still trying to figure this out too, but I feel like you're the closest liaison that I have to what the government is doing right now and how they can help people. And I think all of us are just like, you're getting news from different sources. You're trying to understand how you're supposed to plan for the unplannable. So I know a lot of the answers are going to be, we just don't know yet, but at least you're a face and you're telling us.
Fair enough. Well, I'll try to not just be another voice throwing weird different opinions. I'll try to point people in the right direction to find the answer or caveat something that I don't feel 100% on. Part of that might just be not my knowledge base. Another large part of it is what you're talking about, that there was a senator, I don't remember which one, who basically referred to the CARES Act and said, we're putting together the plane as we're flying it. And it's with good intentions. They're trying to get money out into the hands of everyone as soon as humanly possible, which is great. But as a result, there's a lot of programs, a lot of loan applications, tax components that are happening at a speed that you would probably normally want months, a year to start to plan for. So there's a lot that's kind of being determined on the fly.
Oh man.
So
well, can you break down
guidance.
at least like what is the CARES Act? Like what are the pieces?
Sure. So it stands for the Coronavirus Aid, Relief, and Economic Security Act. The goal is to try to get money to average Americans, to get money to people who've lost their jobs, to get money to small businesses who are trying to survive, suddenly facing a huge loss of revenue, and also potentially trying to keep their employees on the payroll so that they continue to get a wage check, so that they get, so that they continue to get health insurance if that's something being provided by their employer. So that's the general answer. The more specific one, there's a couple of key components to it. There's a lot of components to it, hundreds of pages, but kind of the main ones that I think impact most people. The first one being the stimulus check, which I'm sure a lot of people have heard different things about.
Sounds like free money.
It sounds like free money, and I'm hesitant to call it that, but I wouldn't say that's wrong. But in short, it's $1,200 per adult $500 per child. Now that sounds super simple, super clear. Cool, I'm an adult, give me money. There's more to it than that, obviously. And again, there's definitely a lot that's still being figured out. We're all waiting day to day for the IRS to say, oh, this is what we mean by that sentence that the senators wrote. You know, this is how we're going to interpret it and how we're going to treat it. So digging in a little bit deeper. And by the way, I would caveat this by saying, talk to the person who last filed your taxes for you, whether or not it was H&R Block, Tax Slayer, some private accountant. Try to dig in and have someone take a look at the last return that you filed. For this specific check, they are looking at 2018, or if you have already filed 2019, which you now you don't have to do. They extended it a little bit longer, so you have a little bit more time than April 15th. If you filed 2019, they're going to look at 2019. If you have not yet done that, which is a lot of people, they're going to look at 2018. And if you've earned less than $75,000 a year, you'll receive that payment in full. As you start to move above that income limit towards a little bit below $100,000, it'll phase out. As for the dependent side of things, it's going to be how you filed. And actually, I'll caveat this by saying we're waiting for a little bit of guidance here from the IRS, but it appears it's going to be dependent on how you filed your return. If you did already in 2019, if not, how you did in 2018, whether or not you will receive that additional $500 for a dependent in your household.
Right. We had some people ask that question, so thanks for saying
That's
that.
right.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to seamlessly touch on it as though we're just, we didn't even need prompting. We got it.
Yeah. You guys feel free. If you have more questions, go ahead and write them in. Thanks. My hair is, loving my hair. Okay, great.
I have curly hair as well. I'm just pointing that out.
Yeah. Next time you need to go full. You got enough time in quarantine to grow the full fro.
By the way, I will say a thank you from my wife. I have not shaved in 3 weeks. So you asking me to do this caused me to feel that I had to shave. So she's very thankful for you. There are many things I feel I'm naturally gifted at. Growing facial hair is not at all one of them. We all can't be your husband, Adam.
Oh yeah, he's got a good beard.
I imagine he shaves in the morning and by like 1 p.m. it's like tickling his chest. He's like chopping wood just out there, you know. Yeah.
Actually, yeah. And I saw someone say that you have a reassuring face, which is nice.
Oh, that's very nice. Thanks. Well, only because I shaved. If you'd seen it this morning, it was.
Yeah. Oh, what if you're an adult in the U.S. but don't earn enough to have to file taxes because you work part-time?
Can you work part-time?
No, if you work part-time.
Oh, if you work.
You didn't hit the taxable amount for the year.
My understanding is you would have to have filed a tax return in order to receive this money. So you might want to look into getting your taxes taken care of and up to speed. That you at least have to have filed for 2018. And by the way, further to that, the Treasury Secretary said earlier this week that they are aiming to direct deposit funds into any bank account where they have that information already from your tax return. They estimate, I think it was 60 million out of 150 million US tax filers. They have the information already from prior year refunds where you've given it to them, your bank info, and they're just going to go ahead and just send that money. He said they think they're going to do that next week. I will sort of believe it when I see it. I'm hopeful for sure. I'm optimistic, but I'll celebrate when we see it. Yeah. For everyone else, it's going to be a check, or potentially there's tax issues where you need to go ahead and file.
Yeah, I hear that. Okay, so what about small business stuff? Because I know we had a application that started last Friday, and then there's another one this Friday.
That's right. So there's several loan options, and I would encourage everyone to look up everyone that has a business, to look up the Small Business Association. And by the way, the terms of what's a small business have, in the eyes of this CARES Act, widened quite a bit. So, if you think that what you do for a living is considered a business, I encourage you to go take a look and see if the terms that you see on the Small Business Association website might apply to you. If you feel that they do, go ahead and apply and see if you can qualify. So basically the CARES Act had a couple of different components. One is an EDI loan. It's an economic disaster. Wait, I want to get this right. not screw it up for you.
Because all of us, we definitely know what it is.
Economic injury disaster loan. That loan is basically, in short, to help you if you've been impacted by the disaster, if you've seen, by COVID specifically, if you've seen your income start to fall a little bit. And it's a loan that you can apply for that's directly handled by the Small Business Association. The loan can then be used to help you cover certain expenses like payroll, maybe rent, for your storefront if you have one or something related to your business. Again, I definitely urge you to go take a look at those terms. There is also a component on that website that on the loan application that asks if you want a $10,000 advance right away, that they would speed up and just get out to you. It's supposed to happen in 3 business days. I know a lot of people who applied a little over a week ago and nobody's heard a peep yet. So I think they are handling an intense volume. That is my guess. So we'll see if and when that happens, but that's theoretically a way to apply and try to quickly receive an answer to get some additional funds if you qualify. And then beyond that, there'd be additional loan terms. The second part of the loan is the PPPL, which is the Payroll Protection Program. That one is what it sounds like. The goal there is for you to get a loan to help cover your payroll. It's calculated on earnings, or sorry, on wages that you've paid in the last year. In most instances, it's going to be calculated on wages that you've paid. There are some caveats. Again, I encourage you to go look at the small business loan terms to see if there's something that sounds like it applies for you and your kind of business. But the goal would be for you to get a loan that you could then use to continue to employ people in your company to save yourself from having to lay them off, which is a thing that just might happen for a lot of people. It is already happening to quite a few people in the U.S.
It is a lot. It feels like we're trying our best to make sure people can stay employed and try, the aim is to get money to small businesses so they don't have to fire anybody. And then there is for people that have, unemployment, it sounds like has been beefed up a little bit with this too, if you have been let go. That's
right. And part of what's in the CARES Act is, when you go ahead, it used to be if you were laid off from your job, your employer, needed to downsize, whatever the reason was that you were laid off, you could go ahead and apply with your state for unemployment. You'd receive a small benefit that was, maybe covered your salary, but oftentimes was maybe a little less than, in most states, the range I think is about $200 to $500 or $600, depending on the state that you're in, that you'd receive, which might be far less than some people make, but you'd at least receive some weekly benefit. You can still go ahead and do that, but what's changed in the CARES Act is that they broadened the base for who could apply. There's now a number of different terms that I've seen mentioned that I still have yet to see perfect clarity and guidance from the government bodies that I'd want to see it from. But the interpretations that I've read, key word, are, new things like you were about to start employment and that was cut off because
couldn't go in because of COVID.
Right, which by the way, common thing in the music industry that I was about to go on my first tour and now the tour is not happening. So they never even employed me. Can I even file for unemployment? I am seeing that you might be able to, which is a thing that you were not able to do before. I can't guarantee it, but I'm seeing that you might. And then also importantly, they tried in this bill to push through coverage for the so-called gig workers. That's the term that's often used for people who drive Uber, that are delivering groceries on Instacart, doing all these kind of side jobs. But also more broadly, it's just anyone who's an independent contractor. There may be standing now for them to be able to apply to receive funds as well. And not only does that then get you potentially access to your state releasing the funds that they would have, 3 months ago only paid to somebody who was an employee and laid off, but the federal government is adding an additional $600 per week for people who start receiving unemployment. So it's something worth looking into. I'd love to tell you, I can tell you exactly how to do it, or what you need to do to file, or how to get through the issues that you're having on the website. The truth is there's 50 plus different websites to apply to depending on where you live, state, territory, or otherwise. Let alone that, there's different rules, regulations, things that they're requiring. I know that I was watching I'm in New York right now. I was watching Governor Cuomo's address today. He was talking about New York State and how it's been an absolute madhouse that they've had 100 times the number of applications that they usually have.
Yeah.
You might have seen today the number was released that it's now up to about 16 million people have filed for unemployment in the last 3 weeks. I looked it up today. The prior record for 1 week for applying was a little under 700,000 people in 1982. So we're talking 16 million over the last 3 weeks. Each of those weeks has been far above that prior number. So there's just a volume of people calling in, applying, that there's no way they could have been ready for. So keep trying, keep checking those websites, keep calling the phone numbers. Specifically on New York, I know Governor, for anyone who's here and thinking of applying, Governor Cuomo today in his address said they worked with Google to get a new website and a new system that'll hopefully work quicker, which I know for people like my mother, who I helped apply and who's been calling nonstop, receiving busy signals for the last week and a half, I know that'll be a huge help for her and other people as well. Hopefully other states will follow suit as well and get the aid that they need.
I know. Oh my gosh. Thank you for just, I know you're just dipping your toe in the water, and I just kind of wanted to do this for everyone. Oh, I'm getting better information from Brad than from every major media company. All hail Brad.
Oh, thanks.
Maybe we can have Brad be a weekly stop-in to tell us what's going on. Because the main thing is, when you look at these numbers, it's not 16 million people, it's us. It's us, you know, like we're trying to navigate this. All of us are trying to figure this out. You are right to feel confused if you're confused right now, but please don't give up, because we're all trying to keep this thing going together. And I think at the end of this, I'm going to play us a little song here, tell a little story, and then I'm going to make sure I post anything relevant from this conversation. I'll kind of add in comments and posts and stuff, some links to things. So last question for Mr. Brad. I don't know if you can tell by looking at Brad, but he is an a cappella nerd, which is my background as well. And that means you sing things only with your mouth.
That's right.
You don't have any instruments. And I feel like during this time, a lot of people who are not essential workers, you know, are staying in and staying safe. And if they want something to look up that's fun to like watch, that's, you know, do you have any good recommendations on YouTube? Like maybe there's I'm gonna post one that I think was kind of interesting that maybe you'll see a familiar face in. But if you have any other suggestions.
You had to dig deep, I imagine, to find that.
I think it was 2013. Was it a Mumford and Sons?
That sounds right.
Oh.
Yeah.
Y'all are gonna see Brad singing some acapella, don't you worry. But do you have any that you think are good? Do you have any like cool videos that you watch? Do you like Pentatonics or anybody?
Oh, Pentatonics are great. I always have a special place in my heart for them. I was definitely a big fan of the Sing Off in general, the short-lived TV show. There's a lot of great groups that came out of that. You know, I would recommend if you're just wanting to dip your toe in the water of acapella, but hear like the best of it that you can, look up like compilations that do exist that come out every year. I know there's one that's Best of College Acapella. I imagine you and your college group probably tried to get on it. I know we did, failed miserably.
Well, there's those colleges that have all the money and like are just legacy acts, and they just have like professional recording studios, and we're like putting up mics in our dorms. So
yeah, that's right. Exactly. So I would definitely recommend that. That's a great way to get some acapella into your life.
Love it.
Some real high
and then everyone, don't worry, I will post the link to Brad singing acapella. Thank you, Brad, for joining. I think you're the one that clicks off. I don't really know how to do this.
Oh, okay.
And then I'm going to play everybody a song.
Well, thank you for having me. Yeah. Thank you. You know, I want to just say real quick, if I may, you know, a while back, you said something to me that's truly one of the favorite things I've ever heard. If I may lightly curse a little bit, is that okay?
Yeah.
Okay, good. You said to me, you know, after one of our many long talks, you said, you give a shit. I want that on a mug. Like, that's my favorite thing ever. But here's the thing. You give a shit. And I thank you for that. You know, this isn't, I have many great people that I work with. I love all of them. But, you know, you really dig in extra hard to try to use your platform to demonstrate a way. You know, you use your platform.
Stop.
What's that? No, I'm going to keep going. I know you don't. I know you don't want it or need it, but you know what? I love that you just kind of demonstrate how you should be a good and curious and compassionate human.
Oh, I like that.
And
Curious.
it means a lot to me. So
Of course. Thank
thanks
you.
for being you.
Spirit.
All right. Well, I will go now and let people enjoy music
Everybody
and
say
stop
bye,
hearing about
Brad. Give him
taxes.
some hearts.
Bye.
Bye, Brad. I hope this works. Oh, okay. I'm still here. Y'all are still here. Okay. So I said, yes, I do give a shit about all of you, Edward James. Yeah. I really would like to play a tune for you. And normally I don't play guitar because when I started off playing guitar and then I could have other people do it for me. It was, you know, just awesome to have somebody else hold a guitar and be great at it. But I do play guitar from time to time. And I actually played guitar on a song. It was electric, but I have my acoustic up here. And so I was going to play you guys a song called Palace. Hearts. Yes, that's right. I see people asking for other things. Don't worry. We will be doing this show often. And I will play you more songs. So, Palace, I wrote with and for Sam Smith and also my buddy Tyler Johnson. We wrote this song. It's based on, for me, when I came into the writing session, I knew I really wanted to write a song that was sort of pulling from this Billy Joel song that was, in every heart there is a room, a sanctuary safe and strong, to heal the wounds from lovers past until a new one comes along. And I like this idea that there's a physical space in your heart that you're keeping for yourself and for other people in these great loves. And so, but I have a psychology background, for those of you who don't know. That's what I did my other career, psychology research. And so I feel like it should be in your mind, this place where you meet the love of your life and you build this huge palace where you're going to spend the rest of your days together. And like all great love stories, it doesn't work out. And you leave that spot in your mind and you close the door. And then maybe down the line, you're poking around on Facebook or you're just remembering someone you think, I really want to know what that space looks like again. So you go back and you open the door, and there, where the great palace once was, is you see just this whole thing of ruins. And they're covered in moss and dust. And if you're like me, you look at all of this and all that time you spent building it, and you say, God, what a waste. And that's probably what a bunch of people are saying right now, if you're like me as well. All the things that aren't happening that you thought were going to happen right now, like graduations and moves and jobs and tours. But I think the correct way to look at it, and so this is my therapy to myself, is that if you did it with your whole heart and your intentions were in the right spot, doesn't matter how it turns out or what the end looks like, real love is never a waste of time. So with that, I'm going to try and play the song. Give me a lot of leniency. I haven't played guitar in a while, but I love y'all this much. My head is filled with ruins. Most of them I built with you. Now the dust no longer moves. Don't disturb the ghost of you. They are empty, they are warm. Tell me what we built this for. On my way to something more. You're that one I can't let it go. Mm-hmm. And I'm gonna miss you, and I'm still there. Oh, sometimes I wish that we never built this palace, but real love is never a waste of time. Yeah, I know just what you're saying, and I regret ever complaining about this heart and all it's breaking. It was beauty we were making. And I know we'll both move on. You'll forgive what I did wrong. They will love the better you, but I still hold the ghost of you. And I'm gonna miss you, and I'm still there. Oh, sometimes I wish that we never built this palace, but real love is never a waste of time. And I'm gonna miss you, and I'm still there. Oh, sometimes I wish that we never built this palace, but real love is never a waste of time. Oh no, real love is never a waste of time. Yeah! Oh my gosh, we made it through. Okay, thank you so much for visiting my nursery. This is Lucy's nursery. We're gonna do another one of these tomorrow. I'm gonna post about it too, but I have my friend Rabbi Jacqueline coming on. She's a part of this book called Ordinary Insanity that just came out. It's about motherhood, and I think it's actually very applicable to what all of us are going through right now. So I think you should check it out. And again, I will play a song at the end to tell a little story about it. So go ahead and ask me to play whatever your favorite song is, even if it's a cover. I don't care. I'll learn it. So yeah, thank you for coming. I'll put all the links of anything we talked about, including Brad's acapella. I'm going to put that underneath this. I'm going to save this however it is that you do that. I'm going to figure that out. I'm going to save this. And last thing, if you are at home and you don't have anything to do, I have been taking these courses called sheshouldrun.org. They have an incubator, and this is for women who are thinking about running for office. And I want to take this. I think you all should take it too, so we all understand what it means to be running for office. It's great to just know yourself. And if you want to encourage a young girl that you think, or even older gal, like anyone that should be running for office, you can encourage them because you will have taken this course. So if you got free time, sheshouldrun.org. Again, thanks to all the essential workers that are keeping this whole world afloat. We appreciate you. Love you guys, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye.